Hey, so I'm here again. Like I I was kind of burned out a little bit. Like after making my videos, like after the one I did, the WrestleMania ones I did 9192. I was kind of burned out and didn't know what video Winter Soldier I could have made. But I knew there was one topic that I wanted to do, and it just and I'm so lucky that this topic has stayed relevant because we're only like what a month away after this recording since someone may come back in already wrestling soon. And there's a new TV show that AEW is reportedly making on. So yeah, so if you guys haven't watched me, my name is Super Revolution, Super Revolution, and so the video I'm talking about, as you see the title of this video, is my thoughts on the potential return to AEW of one Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, and him coming back to a new TV show now supposedly going to be called AEW Collision. And it's so funny that Nick Collision that's in terms of just 6 months ago, wasn't like 7, 8 months ago, Sample was literally on a collision course with, as you know, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, as people now call the Brawl Out, talk about many months ago when it happened. And yeah, I want to remind you guys, they still haven't resolved shit. Not one time. After this, even during when I recorded it, they still haven't made a fence. Try to make an offense. Which is like, Tony, you're bringing this guy in. You're potentially thinking about bringing this guy in. And you still have it to try at the very least to have a fucking mini. Try to make a fucking mini and try your damage to make both Punk and the Elite try to make offensive with one another. Like, Jesus. And yeah, so CM Punk coming back to All Elite Wrestling is like, I had a weird feeling it was gonna happen. I just had this itchy feeling like CM Punk will be back All Elite Wrestling despite of how he acted in the world, which there's still no excuse for it. And there was some people that he kind of amended him doing he acting like that, which he had to regret. I mean, that brought out was just an embarrassment from not only Punk and Elite, but for all Elite Wrestling and to Tony Khan as well. Like, let this shit happen on his fucking watch. I still won't quite forgive him for that thing. And yeah, and the fact that he'll say he still hasn't tried to make both of them make offenses, it's like, what are you waiting for? And supposedly these legal issues and stuff, like, And here's my thing with those legal issues. Like, we don't even know the extent of what is going on with these legal issues. Like, what is in those legal issues between CM Punk and the Elite? Like, what's the hush over it? Like, what is in the details? Like, we still don't know at this point. And like what? Like, damn. And so, the funny thing, like, 2 weeks before the news started circling around, when the CM Punk rumors, returning rumors started, when it started, I want to say when Dynamite was announced for the June 21st edition, which is going to be in Chicago, apparently. 2 weeks before the news started, CM Punk went on into this huge, again, melody drama. Apparently, his IG story months ago, which he deleted, by the way. He talks about the Meltzer, him crapping on him, and him talking about how when he never watched a Rocky movie. Huh. Never watched a Rocky movie. Huh. Who hasn't watched a Rocky movie in their lives? Just a trick question. Now, anyways, so he talk about when, like, he talk about the Jon Moxley match, the match before their match at All Out, the match that they had when they had Jon Moxley squash CM Punk to, like, become the undisputed AEW World Champions. So they were both AEW World Champions, since Moxley was the Interworld Champion, Punk was the Real World Champion. So they did that. They had a rematch at All Out, which Punk gained his win back against Moxley for that squash match. So the squash match that Punk was talking about, apparently, he wasn't quite clear. And he talked about how he wasn't so sure about the idea, and that he will never put a health issue over a wrestling company ever again. He said, fuck Meltzer, and he randomly took Chris Jericho in the end too. And I guess here's the thing, that whole Punk IG story, that thing, like, that was so fucking weird the way he went about it, like, and I don't know, like, what, I heard there was some rumors, the news, apparently Chris Jericho was the one who told CM Punk, you are a cancer and a detriment to the AEW locker room, apparently. I think Dave Meltzer first reported someone calling that, and like, I think some other wrestler, I don't know who they were, was like Fightful or something like that. Apparently it was Jericho who told him, when they started with first reporting about someone telling Punk you're a cancer and that went to the locker room, which was internally revealed to be Jericho. So him saying fuck to, so him saying randomly fuck to Jericho and Meltzer, I can get his reason, but the way he threw it out was just awkward and weird. Like, and the whole clearness thing, like, that's more on the company more than Punk, because Punk is right. Like, this man, like, during his last, like, final months with WWE, like, almost a decade ago, like, during his final few months with the company, the man was working with a staff adventure that the doctors of that company flat out basically ignored him. Until he had to fucking go to the doctor in Tampa, supposedly, to fucking reveal that he had a fucking staph infection. Yeah, when him talking about he wasn't so sure about doing the math because it wasn't clear, I can get his feeling, but that's kind of damaging on AEW.com for allowing this man to wrestle while he wasn't not clearly 100%. And like, that's probably why he got injured again so soon when during the match against Moxley at All Out. Because remember, even if he wasn't doing the whole All Out post-media scum and all stuff, he still wanted to run away because he fucking got injured during his match at All Out against Jon Moxley. So, that's probably why he got injured, because that dude in the first match we watched was, apparently he claimed he wasn't fully medically cleared to wrestle that night. So, I don't know who truly believed it, but yeah, that fucking IG post story was so weird, kind of unnecessary to do. Especially when you fucking had to know especially when CM Punk had to fucking know he was going to be clear to come back, and apparently that's what still is happening. So that thing happened, and apparently those news and rumors apparently start. So here's my 2 cents on CM Punk coming back. Like, I get it. He's still a draw. He did some major business ever since coming into AEW. He's going to be a major draw, and apparently this new show called Collision, and apparently going to be on Saturdays, on every Saturday moving forward. They kind of need a big name to drive up those numbers up, and to stay consistent with it, by the way. So, I get it. Do I think it's the right decision? I mean, and this is when it gets kind of hard, when you really think about it. Like, yes, Punk is a big name. Of course, he's probably going to bring eyeballs to that new Collision, which apparently the rumor is still he will return on that show in apparently the United Center in Chicago on June 17th, something like that. So, but that's when he's gonna make his return. So, yeah, I understand what they want to do. And I can totally get it. I mean, there's a part of me, like, that wants CM Punk to come back. But it's like, you never know with him. Like, that whole all out post me as a screen, that it's still a dark cloud that they need to get away from for as much as they possibly can. Because people are still talking about it, and people are still going to talk about it when it comes to this man and him potentially coming back. I mean, they need to be careful with him. That's all I say. And I think I even said it when the whole WWE rumors. I think I made a video about potentially CM Punk returning to WWE, something like that, which I didn't quite believe in. I'm going to get to that in just a few seconds, by the way. I didn't quite believe, but I think I said that if Punk, I can only accept Punk returning to WWE if he actually tried to make an effort to make events with everybody, because there's still half of that people that still hate him. So if he could do that, then I guess it's fine. Well, I can say the same does apply here. If Punk really wants to make amends with everybody and apologizes for what he did to that locker room, for what he did at that all post media scrum, if he can do just that, I'm fine with it. With him coming back. And they still got get to make a mess with you, all that stuff. But if he can make a mess with some of the people in AEW that don't quite like him right now, if he can apologize to those people, I can live for that. And I'll walk on him coming back, because like it or not, like, he's a major asset. Even still in 2023 to AEW. I mean, to his wrestling promotion, which to whatever wrestling promotion you want to name, like, he's still a valuable asset to whatever comes. So, and apparently he's tried to work on that, since apparently the rumor floating around, like, weeks ago he was at a Monday Night Raw in Chicago, making amends with everybody, making amends with Triple H, a guy that, if you even saw the promo, there's some real life animosity, because those two guys probably couldn't stand one another, which is true. But he was trying to make amends with them. And I don't quite think, like, I don't think he did it just to try to work his way back there with working with them again. I don't think he quite tried to do that. I think for Punk, I think he's pretty smart in the fact the rumors are always circling about him coming back to AEW in June at the New Collision show in Chicago. I think more than anything, he went on that show backstage making amends as a way to send a message to that if he can make a dance with people in WWE, then people in AEW shouldn't have a hard time doing the same to him. So if he's trying to do that, then I applaud with him. For he's trying to make a mess with everybody. And try to get some closure or something, because the way he left that at that time still was a sour taste in some people's mouth. So even some people that work there. So I applaud him for doing that. I'm still on the fence, but if Tony Khan wants to bring Punk back because if he knows that's good for business, then alright, then so be it. Just let him do what he wants to do. And like this new collection show, apparently being the third show, AEW says you have Wednesdays with Dynamite, Fridays with Rampage, and now Saturdays with this. And maybe they're gonna do that to separate the rosters. I'm quite on the fence on that. When they split the rosters, like, I don't know if it's a good idea to do one yet, but I'm gonna try to give it a chance if it does come through on a fruition with this new upcoming collision show. So yeah, maybe they're gonna try to use this to separate the Elite and CM Punk. Which is still not quite, to me, I don't know that's still the best way to try to appease everybody, but that is certainly a way to do that and still have Punk on one show and the Elite on the other. Like, I don't know how they could actually make this work like a brand split with AEW, but we will wait and see with that. And I heard this new rumor apparently of him CM Punk wanting to work with Samoa Joe. Apparently there was some rumors that he might work with Chris Jericho for but apparently Punk wants to do the program with Samoa Joe first, and that's pretty cool that he wants to do that. Apparently with the history that they have at all age, and I think that program with all the age between the both of them is what pretty much cemented it as major names in the wrestling industry in that feud. And Punk and Samoa Joe is that one guy that CM Punk has never able to quite beat. I think they had draws and Joe has won in one of those matches, so yeah, he has never quite to beat Samoa Joe. So that's an interesting, unique way to tell a story, and they're promising me, come on, like CM Punk with the top of his game on the mic, and Samoa Joe too with the top of his game on the microphone. Boy, that's gonna create some must-see TV for that new. If they do that for the new show, since apparently they gotta build a whole new collision show around CM Punk, so doing that feud on that new show is gonna create instant must-see TV on those first few shows, on those first few shows when they do that. So that could be great on that side. So yeah, I think that's everything I want to cover on this this CM Punk return rumors and this new AEW collision show. So I don't know if and I don't even know like AEW collision on the whole is necessary, but apparently they are retiring Dark and Dark Elevation to make room for that new show. Which what's the best way you could have done if you were gonna to bring in a new show? Because like, who else? Even for AEW diehards, like, would you really were gonna watch a Dynamite that is like 2 hours, Rampage that's like 1 hour, Collision show 2 hours, on top of Dark and Dark Elevation being an hour? That's like what? Like 7 hours of AEW? Like, jeez, that's a little too much. So they try to scale back on some shows. It's the best way to do if you're gonna bring in a new show like this. So yeah, so there is that. Like, if Pump really made some mess ready, but that I'm a bore when them bringing this guy in. So yeah, that's my whole 2 cents on that. Tell me what you think. Like this video if you haven't. Subscribe here. Tell me what you think. Should they bring CM Punk back in? Should they not? Tell me all about it in the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Maenius, and I approve this match.